name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here then welcome to my channel. In today's video we are going to be talking about some books that I've hauled at least somewhat recently, if not very. I will have the content warnings I can find linked down below in the description along with links to some resources, and let's go ahead and get into it. First up, we have All My Rage and also Heir by Sabaa Tahir. And All My Rage follows our two main characters who are best friends, and they are so close that they consider each other family. After a fight destroys their bond with one another, one of our main characters scrambles to run his family's motel as his mother's health fails, and his grieving father loses himself to alcoholism while our other main character is working at her uncle's liquor store, while hiding her plans to go to college and just get away from him forever. But when the attempts to save the motel spiral out of control, they are going to have to ask themselves what friendship is worth and what it's going to take to defeat their monsters, both the past ones and the present. And Heir follows an orphan, an outcast, a prince, and a killer who wants to destroy the empire. And it follows and weaves together the stories of three of these characters as they struggle with the burdens and consequences of power, betrayal, love, and unchecked greed. So it's been a really long time since I've read An Ember in the Ashes by this author, and that was a book that I got really invested and immersed in, but I also found it to be really frustrating at the same time because I just really didn't like the main guy in that story. But it's also been so long that I can't even remember why or like the specifics of any of my feelings about that book. But I was invested, for better or for worse, and I love an author who can make me feel that level of immersion in a book. So I remember thinking at the time that I might actually really like this author just with a different book. And now I have options. And I will say I do tend to lean towards All My Rage like a little bit more because I feel like I almost have no idea what to expect from Heir, besides what will hopefully be like an immersive, interesting fantasy world with some good characters. While All My Rage already sounds like it could make me cry, and it already has a relationship that I am very interested in seeing get explored. But both of these books seem to be really well loved, and I am so excited to hopefully finally have the experience with this author that I have always wanted to have. Next up, we have Model Home by River Solomon, and this follows three siblings from a family who, when they moved into the neighborhood, they were the only black family. The neighbors acted nice enough, but scary, strange, and unexplainable things began happening right away inside of the house. But they refused to abandon their home, and now these three siblings are adults and they have left, leaving their parents all alone inside of that house. However, when news of their parents' death arrive, they reunite to reckon with their family's past and present, and just try to figure out what happened while they were away, as their parents did not have a natural death. Ever since I read The Deep, I've been trying to choose my next River Solomon book, and I've gone back and forth for so many years between like Sorrowland and Unkindness of Ghosts, and then I found out about Model Home. And this is the one. I am a huge fan of haunted, dark, mysterious house books, and I've loved so many of them in the past. Or even if I haven't loved the entirety of those books, I've at least loved that element of them. It's one of my favorite things to read, and based on The Deep, I am sure this one is going to be amazing as well. I also really love the writing style in The Deep, so I am so excited to read more of that. And then this book also says that River Solomon turns the haunted house theme on its head, so that sounds really interesting. And then all of that combined with just like this family trying to fight for their right to live and exist in contemporary American life, I feel like this is going to hit really hard, and I could easily see this being a huge favorite of whatever year I end up reading it in, which is probably going to be 2025, but also like this isn't that type of TBR video and my brain isn't ready to think about that yet. And speaking of books with huge 5-star potential, the final book that we are talking about today is This Is How You Lose a Time War by Amal, El-Mohtar, and Max Gladstone. And this follows two rivals who are hell-bent on getting the best possible future for their warring factions. But then that rivalry turns into something more, something romantic that could change both their past and their future. But there is still a war going on, and if they're discovered, it could mean both of their deaths. I have heard such beautiful, amazing things about this book and its writing, and I am so excited for that. I am also incredibly excited for the romance, and the setting itself also sounds really interesting, and like there's going to be a lot of interesting commentary on war and winning and losing. And it's also a sci-fi, which I feel like is a genre that I don't read enjoyed nearly as much as I should. I've seen some reviews that say that the writing was a little bit too poetic for them to get into, and I could see that for myself, but I also don't see it for myself at the same time. Like, I've loved writing styles that other people haven't in the past, so I definitely am feeling really confident about this for sure, and hopefully it doesn't let me down because I really, really want to love this, and I think it is going to devastate me from a story perspective, but that's like the only way I want it to devastate me. Like, the levels of disappointment that I will have if I hate this will be so unreal, I won't even know what to do. Okay, so that is all that I have for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and answer the question that'll be around here if you want to do that, and hopefully I will see you here next time. Bye!